phone, but you ain't picking it up. So I'm posting stories with my girls out living it up. Then you roll in like it ain't my go-to spot. You walk over and take your shot, and here we go again. I'm giving in. We love to push each other's buttons like Nintendo games. We keep on running round in circles like it ain't no.
All right, now we're talking. Maybe not exactly a personalized intro song meant just for us per se, but hey guys, we definitely should still be somewhat special here, seeing that song has yet to be officially released. Lucky for us, the singer was our guest in today's episode, so we were granted the proper permission, etc., to play that song and be able to showcase just a snippet there at the beginning. So hopefully you guys can check it out when it releases. I know I enjoyed it the few times I've listened, and same with my partners. Fellas, how we doing?
Yep. Good, man. Good. And I was excited to hear it. She said it to us early on, and was able to listen to it a little bit. And the fact that she kind of allowed us to give us a little snippet to release to fans, I thought that was pretty cool. So I got a little bit of a different song for the day, which is awesome.
Yeah, always nice.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome that when you first sent it over to us to listen to, I thought they were actually on, they were out, and I was looking it up on the music platforms and was getting real confused. Why I couldn't find nothing. So it was good to hear that they were early releases, because they're gonna be great.
Can't
wait. We're
wait.
just the platform for breaking news all of a sudden.
Dude, love it.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row.
I'm all right. I am plenty all right with that. Those are big too. Like we were talking before, like Olivia, for everyone, we're going to get to that eventually, but I mean, she's pretty well known in the Nashville area and music industry, and I mean, Fresh and Lean, the Anaheim Ducks, I'm sure people have heard of them, to just be able to drop that too. So good for us, fellas.
Yeah.
Nice pat on the back.
Yeah. But on that note, what's going on, everyone? As mentioned, Garrett Smith, Danny Espinoza, Seth Smith here with y'all once again. Damn, episode 6 now of Connected by Seams. This one, as mentioned, we chatted with Olivia Faye. Olivia, a country pop singer, songwriter, actress, does a little bit of everything. Our first musician to join the show, which made it fun to dive into kind of what that journey was like for her, where she grew up, making a move at just 19 years old to try and help her career in the industry, and another fun and cool conversation about perseverance, staying committed to your goals and dreams, and just trying to make it work at whatever costs it takes. So without further ado, enjoy the interview with Olivia Faye. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Welcome into another episode of Connected by Seams podcast. Once again, Danny Espinoza, Garrett Smith, and Seth Smith here with you. And boys, the cowboy hats are out, y'all. As you may notice, if you're watching or viewing this episode, the boys looking a tad different for today's show. And that is not just because, but that is because we are joined by a very special guest and someone we're really happy to have on, and that's country singer, songwriter, and actress Olivia Faye. Olivia, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm so good, Seth. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited.
We don't always get dressed up for everyone, so I hope you feel special. Everyone in their hats. I'm in my PBR shirt that has seen some better days. It's definitely heard some country music, but has seen some better days for sure.
I didn't
but
know
we're excited you're here.
When he said that you guys are going to be wearing the hat. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, no messing around. We're not messing around.
There's no expense around here.
Well, not sure exactly when this episode will air, but it should be noted, as we just discussed, you are doing this on the day of a show, and we'll be taking the stage in just a few hours. So if you want to kind of talk about where you'll be playing and how it's not such a big deal for you to be doing this right now, that's crazy.
Yes. I'm very thankful for all the opportunities I've been given to go play at some of my favorite venues tonight. I'm going to be out in a little area called Leaper's Fork, and the venue is called Puckett's, and it's one of my very favorites. I'm really good friends with the owner, and I know all the regulars, and it's just like a spot that I feel super comfortable. And it's actually where I met my producer, and I've met a lot of really cool people out there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know out in Leapers Fork, that's where my wife and I are going to go visit soon to possibly one day make the jump to move out there. But you need to get Doug out there to come see you playing tonight.
Yes, right. I wish he's in town. Well, he might be. It always kind of surprises me when he's in and out. But Danny, when you and your wife go and visit, you're going to fall in love with it. I'm not kidding.
I'm sure we will. We just got to make the jump away from everybody, and that's the big jump to kind of go almost all the way to the East Coast.
Oh, that is like big jump.
Yeah, especially with 2 kids.
Yeah, they're young enough.
Yeah, they don't really care anyways.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't always been from Nashville. You hail from Murray, Kentucky. I figure outdoors and kind of living that life is huge. Your kind of lifestyle that you love to live. I know Danny has a ranch, loves, shooting guns, etc. Just kind of talk about what that was like growing up in Kentucky.
So I grew up in the backwoods of Kentucky. I may not sound like it, but I'm literally a redneck at heart. But I grew up, I'm just an outdoorsy, barefoot kind of girl. So living in Nashville, like finding the little pockets like Leapers Fork, that's why it's so special to me, because I love the big city life, and it's so fun to go play the bars downtown Nashville and experience that city life. But I'm a country girl at heart, so finding like those little areas around Nashville is so special. But growing up in Kentucky, it was just the most perfect childhood, and I love it. I am such an outdoorsy girl, and I think that's what has influenced me a lot music-wise as well, is just connecting to nature. And for some reason, connecting with nature is just like that crossover with music too. That's just like really speaks to me. So I'm just so lucky that I get to follow my career here in Nashville and be so close to home in Kentucky, be able to get away and enjoy those other things that I love.
You mentioned the influence that, being in nature and everything for music. How is there one in particular, or what's your favorite type of influence from that nature life that you use in your music?
So definitely, one of my favorite season is the fall, and my dad and I were deer hunters. So it's even more than just like experiencing in nature, but it's also I'm a very sentimental person, so it's also getting to spend that time with my family outside that really crosses that over for me. Even my niece, my brother's daughter, who's 6 years old, and even just being out swimming and out hiking with her and those kind of things is what really just makes me love being outside too, and making those memories. And I love animals, I love dogs, so being outside and doing those kind of things is what just gives me such a beautiful picture of being outside and spending those times in the woods up in a tree stand with my loved ones. So I translate that into my music with my writing as well. The songs that you guys have heard, those are more like young and flirty songs, but I have been writing for years now. So I have all kinds of music that you guys haven't even heard about fishing and hunting, and just a wide variety.
Well, maybe
awesome.
maybe this fall when you come out to the ranch and bring your dad out there, maybe we can hear some of them out there and get you out to some big country and get you elk hunting out there.
Danny, get me out there and find me an awesome venue to play at. And also, my dad wanted me to tell you, he bought me a 7mm .08 caliber rifle gun. I don't really know, but he said it's good for elk hunting. So I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
You're set.
You'll be set. You'll drop something out there. That'll be perfect.
We'll have
you all set up, ready to go.
Oh my gosh, I'll bring my guitar, and you got to wear the cowboy hat.
Yeah, we'll wear the cowboy hat. I can drink beer. I know how to do both those.
No arguing there. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, obviously, a huge family person. It seems like you mentioned your relationship with your dad. You're also the youngest of 3. I myself, youngest of 4. So I know what that's like, but you were born into a very musically inclined and music loving family. Could only imagine what you guys had whipping up on the radio and different type of genres you guys were listening to growing up.
Oh, yeah, it was like crazy. So, like you said, Seth, you being the youngest of four, I'm sure you know, like your influences of your older siblings' music. So, my brother is actually 12 years older than me, and my sister's 8 years older than me. So, there's a big age gap there.
Yeah.
So, I grew up listening, my sister listened to the Mariah Carey and the Shania Twain, and then my brother had more of like a hip hop kind of like music background that he liked. But then my parents are, you know, much older, and so they love Jackson Brown, they love the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac. I mean, even old classic country like Dolly Parton is one of my favorites. So I'm just all over the map of influences. But I did live in California for a short time. I went to high school out there when I was younger. And so working on music out in California also really shaped my sound, because a lot of the writers and producers that I worked with out there, they didn't know much about producing country music. They kind of thought like if you just put the word country in a song, it made it a country song.
Sold.
So that I really learned a lot about pop music out there, but then I grew up this country girl in Kentucky. So that's kind of where I am this pop country artist, and I have just so many different influences, whether it be writing wise or I want a little more mandolin in my songs than others.
What part of California?
I was in Southern California around, like, I lived in Burbank.
Oh, okay. That's not far from us.
Yeah.
We have some family in Burbank, actually.
I love Burbank. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Very charming.
Downtown Burbank is actually an awesome little town. I like downtown.
I was right downtown, so I could just walk to like my favorite little sushi place or whatever. But I was pursuing music and acting stuff out there. So like I said, it really shaped who I am as a person, but also music-wise, like learning a lot more about like the pop kind of influences, R&B. And so I've definitely carried those over into the music I'm doing now.
Was there anyone in particular, maybe like either current or past inspirations, either young age or that you still kind of look towards for inspiration, etc.?
Oh, definitely. Like some of my favorites were like the band Paramore. They kind of had a more like rockish vibe to them. Definitely, I love Taylor Swift because she gets like, I don't know why so many people just love to hate on her, but truly she is such an inspiration because her songwriting is what really got her known around Nashville. And then she ended up taking more of a pop turn, but like as a young aspiring songwriter and artist, we might not write the same style or have the same style of music or even sound the same, but just what her journey was so inspiring and so cool to me.
Now let me ask you, you're still listening to George Strait, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I love all of that.
Okay, I was gonna say I didn't hear old George's name in this. Getting a little worried.
Who didn't?
Oh God, I speaking of that, I saw him a few years ago at the NFR in Vegas, and talk about
Oh man,
concert to go to. That was pretty unbelievable. We got to get you out with him, Olivia.
Okay, if you can hook that up, Danny.
Yeah.
Nasty friend.
We need you with him out there.
That would be incredible.
Well, you eventually took yourself from Kentucky and made the move to Nashville at, I think, just the age of 19, if I'm not mistaken, and quickly got acclimated to the music city as both a songwriter and also a performer. What were some of those moments that really stuck out? I mean, making that leap at such a young age, you're still trying to find yourself, let alone a career. So kind of talk about that.
Right. So right, Seth, I was 19, so I wasn't 21 yet. So I couldn't get into any of the fun places yet, even though a few times I found a way.
Oh yeah.
Perform there yet. So I really had to find my own avenues and find venues that I could play at and, and work harder than others to achieve actually getting to play at some of those places, being only 19, to have people take me seriously. But I think it really just taught me a lot, and during those times I was just writing songs like crazy. I was writing with anybody and everybody that I could write with, which then I later found the balance of like, okay, Olivia, you don't have to do that, because a few times you meet some interesting people in life and get in a room just one-on-one trying to write with some of those. So I learned a lot along the way. But I was very fortunate to meet some awesome people right off the bat. Like one of them being my good friend, Chris Burgessness. He has written with everybody you can think of, the George, the Tim McGraw's, all the big artists. So I was very fortunate to make friends with him. I actually remember the first week of me living in Nashville and being 19, getting invited to Chris's birthday party. I met Chris through a mutual awesome friend, but Chris was really my only buddy in Nashville. And I remember like leaving Chris's 60th birthday party and be like, why is my only friend in Nashville 60 years old? But then with time, I met some awesome people closer to my age, but I've definitely always related with people from every age, especially like having older parents and their friends. But I really found my way with writing with people of all ages, and I appreciate that.
What was the move like? I mean, being 19, a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people at 19, are still under mom and dad's wing and are pretty protected over them, whether it's college or living at home still. Explain to people what's that like to take that move and leave home at 19 and go to a place you've never lived before and take a risk on yourself.
It had the ups and downs, Danny. It wasn't easy, like getting acclimated, and it's not easy just making friends. It's not like you're in a college classroom, like meeting all these people. So sometimes it was really difficult, like being lonely or, not knowing who to write with or finding those avenues. But I was very lucky to kind of, navigate the way with some awesome people and learn quickly. And I would just show up to places like, the Leapers, Fork, and Puckets and go to those open mic nights. And that was one thing my dad always taught me, is to never miss an opportunity. If there's an opportunity, go and take it. And so I started doing that. And I'm so thankful my dad always instilled that in me, because it humbled me a lot, but it also introduced me to a lot of people of all walks of life. And that's kind of where I've ended up meeting some awesome people, like my producer, who then introduced me to Doug, who then introduced me to you. And just, never missing those opportunities has really helped me out. But like I said, it wasn't easy right off the bat, moving here at 19 and missing my parents and having to really figure out things on my own. But worth it.
Yeah. I'm sure it is now.
So as you're on your journey and you're going through and finding what bars that you can play at and all the different venues, what was that one that was the game changer, the one that somebody saw you or that you finally realized, like, all right, like I'm here,
Okay, yeah. So like one I'm going to be at tonight, Garrett. I know I keep mentioning it, but that's because it holds such a special place in my heart. So that was one of the ones that the Puckets of Leapers Fork out towards Franklin, that Puckets there, I could go to being, underage. And that is where I started just really building up my self-confidence, getting up on stage at the open mic nights and meeting other writers. And eventually the owner, Rob Robinson, he started letting me come play there, like with myself and a guitar player, and then eventually myself in a band as I built that up. So I remember very vividly. Like I said, I've always related to people of all ages and especially older people. So I became friends with this man. We all call him Goose. And you'll meet him, Danny. He'll probably show you around. So Goose is probably in his 60s, maybe. I don't want to say, maybe 70s. I don't know. But Goose is on up there. He's seven generations of Leaper Sport. So he's like, this is all I've ever known. So Goose became a buddy of mine right off the bat of going out there, because he's just the sweetest guy in the world. And one night he texted this artist producer guy who I had already heard his music many times before, by the name of JT Hodges. And he told me, Olivia, I invited JT Hodges on out here tonight to see you. And Goose had already invited people like Bill Belichick to my shows, and like,
oh wow,
introduced me to like Justin Timberlake and like a lot of cool people. So I was all nervous at my show, but I remember JT Hodges standing in there and listening to me, and we got to talk after. And that was a big game changer in my career, because since that night on, JT took me under his wing and has now since produced a whole 5-song EP with our other good friend Max Gabriel, who helped produce it and write it. And he's opened a lot of doors for me. He pulled a lot of favors and had all these huge Nashville musicians come play on my record, and he's taken me to people at CMT and all these different places, and it's just the beginning stages. With COVID,
Yeah, it is.
it's kind of slowed down our release of stuff, but I'm just so thankful for never missing those opportunities, going and playing at the open mic night, and then eventually booking shows there, meeting people like Goose, who then introduced me to game changers in my career, like JT Hodges.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
And some of
Such a
those
cool
moments
little-
have to
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, that's a cool story and connection, and I see why that place is such a sentimental, holds such a sentimental place in your heart for sure.
You'll have to come visit it too, Garrett.
Oh, I love it out there. I've been there a handful of times, and yeah, not to Leapers, but just Nashville in general. And I've done a road trip from Nashville to Memphis
Oh, nice.
and like, dude, it was just a day drive essentially, but it was fun just stopping at everywhere.
Memphis.
like, yeah.
one of those connections we have in Nashville, actually, I wanted to ask if you actually maybe knew. We have an extremely close, awesome family
They're
friends.
family.
The Hansons, yeah, they're family. Do you know Larry Hanson? I know you've opened up for the likes of like Alabama and stuff like that. I don't know what year that was, but Larry Hanson, does that name ring a bell at all?
That does. Is he a songwriter?
He honestly
He's a
is like
songwriter,
everything.
yeah. His daughter is Jennifer Hanson. Yeah, he played in Righteous Brothers and Alabama. Like, yeah, he's out there. He has a studio in Nashville.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, talk about, some of these. You were featured opener, as mentioned, again for Alabama, Mark Chestnutt, Paul Thorn, a lot of big names. Have you had kind of a favorite that you've been able to work alongside with or anything?
Oh, yeah. So I have a few different favorites. Like opening up for Paul Thorn is awesome because I just connect with him really well. He's an awesome man, super talented, great personality. So we're buddies. But definitely opening up for Alabama was like my biggest show. There was probably about 10,000 people there. And it might sound small, but I don't know, you guys.
That doesn't sound
That's a lot. That's a lot. 10,000 people is a lot of
Hey,
people.
we get like 12 listeners on here, so we're stoked.
We're stoked.
I can't imagine playing baseball in front of a crowd like that. But anyways, so definitely that was my biggest show yet to date, and it was really cool. And those fans of Alabama are just like, they go hard for Alabama. So also kind of meeting them, and I still have people to this day who will comment on my social media like, I saw you at the Alabama show. So that was super cool and fantastic. And
That's gotta make you feel good.
It just kind of gives you this taste where you just want to keep doing more.
Mm-hmm.
Very motivating.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go to the topic of, you talk about your success, you talk about the highlights, you talk about everything that has been great so far, right? You talked a little bit about moving there at 19 and the struggles. But what we just touched on was about the fun, about being able to open up for Alabama and getting the notoriety from fans that, saw you there. Why don't you touch a little bit about the struggles? Why don't you tell people about what it's really like, what it's that it just isn't all fun and games, getting able to go to the studio, meet all these famous people and play, open up for them, and let them get a little bit of taste of some of the real life moments. That's
so true, Danny, because it's so fun to talk about the positive times. But really, I've been in the entertainment industry for a long time now. I'm 23 now, and I have heard no far more than the few times I've heard yes. So one thing about being in this industry is I have really thick skin. I can't let things get me down, because if you let things get to you, you would quit by now. So it hasn't been easy. There's, you can go anywhere any night of the week in Nashville, other than, during these crazy times, but when life is normal, and go walk into any bar and see some crazy talented musicians, just incredible people, and you're like, why haven't they made it? And it's very humbling. you know, you can look at things as competition, or you can look at things as being humbled. So it hasn't been easy. It's not easy meeting those people, and you work your butt off just trying to get to those doors for them to just shut straight in your face. So there's definitely a lot of lows, but it's worth holding out for the highs. And I'm just glad I never gave up, because you write all these songs and all it takes is one great song. All it takes is one great song, but you have to write hundreds and thousands of them to get there for that one great song. But like I said, it's not worth giving up, because I love it too much, and I'll take those no's any day, but it just takes that one yes. Thick
That's
skin.
awesome. That's a great great attitude to have. I mean, for not just you, but for everybody. That just shows your character and your personality, as far as you just keep grinding. I mean, we've talked about it before on the show, but you have to have that perseverance, and obviously you have it, because being told no far more times than you've been told yes, it takes, like you said, it takes thick skin to get through that and to persevere.
Exactly. Perseverance.
All right, so we paused the interview right there with Olivia Faye, and boy, right away, I think everyone can see just the kind of personality that Olivia presents. You know, the upbeat, just very personable, easy to talk to. You can see how she was able to network. You know, it doesn't seem like she's very afraid to maybe go up to someone, introduce herself, as she mentions, and just kind of get herself involved at whatever costs it takes. And we touched on it a little bit, you know, hopping on this podcast, and right before doing one of her first shows she's done in a couple months now, because of everything, I thought was super cool. And I know you guys thought that was rad also, if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, no, like you were saying, her personality definitely jumps out at you right off the bat. She is a very wholesome, genuine Southern girl. I mean, when I think of Nashville and country music and that persona, she is probably Exhibit A, which is great, you know. And it totally plays into her passion for music and her career and what she's doing with it and going forward and just attacking, and knows what she wants, you know. And you were saying just she's a go-getter, and her personality is very hard to steer away from. So
yeah, I think her personality says everything. You know, says a lot about her. Very down to earth, very nice girl. Seemed very personable. Great interview. Very easy to talk to. But as you were saying, she's a true country girl, and it reflects. I mean, you were talking about what are the things she enjoys. She enjoys fishing. She's talking about her new rifle that she had gotten to go elk hunting. You know, and one of her best times that she's saying is just being able to sit out in the tree stand with family and enjoy family time while she's hunting. So I think that tells a lot about a person, about, you know, stuff they enjoy outside of what their profession is. And you know, even though we talk about her personality a lot, and she's a great girl and such a sweetheart to talk to, we get into a point where we can talk about it after this, but we say, okay, now let's get into the struggles. Let's get into the struggles. Let's not see the golden path and the great things about this music industry. Let us know about what the struggles is, and I think that's what she gets into right after this break.
Yeah, it was really cool to kind of listen to her talk about that, as you're saying, and the go-getter mentality. You could see it. I mean, moving to Nashville at 19 years old, although, I mean, it's not a crazy far move from Kentucky, so to say, but still have to go and do it and be away from everything going on. And like her dad said, you know, never miss an opportunity if there's one there. And boy, she's definitely taken advantage of that. And it's exciting to see the progress. And as you mentioned, she gets into the struggles, and soon we'll find out about her perseverance and moving forward through COVID and just everything else kind of thrown her direction. So another great story again. Just keep grinding, perseverance, like we talk about every episode on this show. So we'll get back to the interview with Olivia Faye. So slowly but surely, things now starting to begin to open back up and somewhat become more normal. But before all that, what adjustments did you have to make due to COVID-19? I know that you had planned on releasing some music, ran into some tough times, and you've had to kind of make the adjustment just to survive and keep yourself afloat. If you want to talk about what that's been like during this wacky time for everyone.
Yes, Seth, it has been really, really wacky in Nashville. It was like a ghost town here for a little while. But right before COVID hit, I had really exciting stuff going on. I just had started taking meetings with really big companies and people in the music industry. I recently filmed a music video, so we were kind of talking about, finding dates to release my 5-song EP. But I started thinking about, I cannot release this right now. It's not the time. And the reason I figured that out was because during those weeks where everything was really hardcore, when we were not leaving the house and doing anything, I was never in the car listening to music. And I realized if I'm not in the car listening to music, no one's in the car listening to music right now.
Yep.
And that's when I listen to music all day long, like at home through my speaker. But like when I listen to new music, it's almost pretty much when I'm in the car driving, listening to those playlists. So I got to thinking, we're going to have to just postpone this, play it safe, play it smart, because I don't want to put out an EP and then have it flop, like no one listened to it, whatever. So anyways, we've made those adjustments, and moving forward, we're starting to figure that out again. But COVID was wild times for all of us. I mean, I did bring out my fishing pole a lot more. I got my tennis racket out a lot more. And in my guitar, I was just really working on like writing songs by myself and learning new cover songs for stuff. But more towards the end of COVID, I was going crazy. I think we all kind of were. I was just going crazy. And so I was very lucky that this cool store in Nashville, we're all about CBD. I'm friends with kind of the owner. And so they were looking to hire. And so I've got myself a little part-time job at the time being, partially because I needed to make a little money because I haven't been playing any shows, but mostly because I was literally at home going crazy. So I
double whammy,
excuse to
two
get
birds,
out.
one stone right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, again, I'm starting to get busy again and booking shows, and for that I'm happy. So starting next month, I'm not really I'll be working there maybe 1-2 days a week for July, and moving forward I don't know, but I'm just so glad music is picking up again. Of course, most of the bars and restaurants are at a different level of capacity that they can let in. But just to be out and be around live music again, and all the people I missed so much, even though we're not really giving hugs yet, but just to be out and feeling kind of normal again is so wonderful. And already this week, exciting things are starting to happen again with some of these companies like CMT that I had just started really working on.
That's a big one.
A big one.
That's a big one.
Right before COVID, had really had some awesome things in the works with them. But we're already picking up kind of where we left off as of this week. So even before we scheduled this, Danny, after we scheduled this, I found out like some cool stuff and started some cool emails exchange and meeting some awesome people yet again, even though it's a little different. We're doing it over Zoom. So but things are picking up, and sure enough, we'll get back to like really normal ways again sooner than later.
No, you're mentioning how getting back to normal tail end of COVID, and you guys dealt with the tornado that ripped through the town and basically that whole part of the state. But knowing how music is the heart and soul of Nashville and everywhere around it, how has that been able to help pull the community back together? And with all of these places opening back up, and is there a strong tie with music still? Like, is that keeping everybody's spirit up? Like, have you used that in any of your writing?
Exactly, Garrett. That's such a good point that you just said. It really has, like, having so many back-to-back things happen, like our tornado and then COVID hitting. It's just been so beautiful seeing the community come together and so giving and helping. And now more than ever, I mean, it's just been on the internet, but it's been in real life too, about people supporting local. I mean, there was just this venue here in Nashville that announced that they couldn't reopen because COVID had hurt them financially so bad. And it's this old place. It's called Douglas Corner. It's one of Nashville's longest standing and like one of their first venues here in Nashville. And this whole city was so heartbroken over it. I mean, the whole city was trying to find ways to raise money to put them back on the map again, to reopen them. And I'm not sure where they're at with that. I think they're still continuing to have to close, but I even went by, they had a yard sale the other day, and I really just went by not to buy anything because I didn't need anything, but just to really see the venue and see the people there that I've known, and just kind of say goodbye to the place. But it's been so nice seeing, you know, the community come together to support local, and for live music. We've just all been dying for it, and now here it is again, and people have their money, they're tipping their money, and buying the drink, and just all that. It's just, I think everyone was just ready for this, you know, to come back again. But definitely through music, it's been such just a nice way to all come together again and just smile and just be happy.
For sure.
Well, you talk about you've been working on, you know, covers, stuff like that, and maybe it's not the way you envisioned it or wanted it, but you've kind of in a way still been able to release content because of social media. Is that something you've changed? Your page, which will shout out, over 10,000 followers on there, by the way. But is that something you have noticed that, you know, maybe more fans, followers have asked to see more videos of you just playing on your front porch or at your house or whatever kind of stuff you've been putting up? I mean, it's still pretty cool that people still get to engage.
Seth, you said that perfectly. It's so nice that we have this platform where we can still engage while we have been all quarantined. And you are so right. Like being able to post like on my Instagram singing, and even I have TikTok. Like, I mean, I feel like that's
man.
even on like these different platforms, or I've done concerts live on Facebook, and I was blown away by how many people got on and streamed and you know, are so interactive on the social media. But it's such a great way and such a great platform that we have while we have all been sitting home on our phones and on our computers. So exactly, it's been so wonderful to interact with people that way, and it makes me appreciate it so much.
That's so cool. Well, I know that you have a website, if you want to maybe mention that, but also maybe where can people, if you want to share where people can find where your shows are, what the dates are, any of that information, special releases, etc.
I just updated that today while I was at my day job on my computer. So I actually just posted today on my oliviafaye.com some dates that I have coming up for July where I'm going to be singing. So you can just kind of check that out and the time and stuff. So definitely I'm on oliviafaye.com, and it links to all my social media, but I also have Instagram, I have Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I'm on all of the things nowadays. But another thing I didn't say, you didn't ask this or anything, but I just want to say I truly feel like I was given a God-given gift to be able to be an influence for people of all ages through my music, and to stand up for the things I believe in, and to say Black Lives Matter, and to come together as a community in Nashville, even if it's over social media, to raise awareness for tornado relief or other things. So I just wanted to say that real quick, that I feel very lucky and blessed, the people that I work with, but also to be an artist, to be given this opportunity to hopefully inspire and help others to make a difference in the world. So I just wanted to squeeze that in there real quick.
Yeah, and it sounds like you don't take that for granted either, and you're doing quite a bit with your gift. And I mean, I've been listening to your stuff ever since we've talked about having you on here. I think it's great, and we'll continue to do so. And wish you all the luck going forward.
Well, thank you, Garrett. Well, I cannot wait till I have a set release date and I can tell you guys what it is, and have y'all stream the music and listen to it and all that, because I'm so ready for these 5 songs to be out there. It was such a great experience writing all 5 of those songs with all the different co-writers and the recording process, and even in the studio tracking all the instruments. It was just such a fun process. So I'm so ready for the world to hear it, and I'm glad you guys got to have some sneak peeks of some of the songs that I texted Danny. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
So are we going to be able to watch CMT within the next few months and see that music video possibly?
I don't know. I hope so. But I mean, the whole world is kind of playing catch up right now. So I'm not sure if it'll be in the next few months, but definitely around the time when I put out my video. What I want to ask them is, can I do put it out with them, very exclusively right off the bat.
Yeah.
Put out my video. So I'm getting to that point with them because
that's awesome.
We're creating a relationship. So, and Nashville's all about relationships. So I'm very excited, but I will keep you guys in the loop because
that'd be awesome to see that. I mean, it's something to look forward to have a music video. I mean, I think back when we were kids and you had MTV music videos and all this stuff, and it's kind of gone by the wayside. Honestly, it's not.
CMT though has done good at
now.
it.
CMT's continue to do it. And it'd be so cool to see you.
They're the only ones.
Yeah, to see you on there have a music video, it'd be awesome to see that.
Well, that is the plan. It will be on there. I just don't know when. So
good, very good.
Well, again, as mentioned, Olivia taking the stage later here tonight. Again, we thank you, especially us baseball guys. I don't know, our game day routine can be a little different, but I don't think we want anyone with a microphone in front of us before a game. So we really, really appreciate you taking the time and doing this with us, and so excited to share your story and hope people can really gravitate towards you. It's a good one.
Well, thank you, Seth. I'm so excited too, and you guys have been lovely.
And you got us to dress up, so how about that?
Yeah,
So nice. I love it.
Yeah. So shout out to my buddy Justin for the hat. I actually do not have my cowboy hat down here, so I got saved. But thank you, Justin, on that. Thank you again,
Olivia, for being on here. I really appreciate you taking the time, like Seth said, about before a performance, and good luck tonight. I know it's the first time back out in a little bit after all what's been going on, but good luck tonight and have a great time.
Well, thanks, and I can't wait to see you in Colorado.
Yeah, let's get some hunting in. We gotta get some hunting in about.
And also, all three of you, the offer is extended. If you guys are hunters as well, if you ever want to come hunt in Kentucky for a change of scenery, I absolutely mean it. We would love to host you on our farm and have you guys out.
That would be amazing.
And I'm dead serious, Gary. I'm dead serious, Seth. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. You might be careful what you wish for there.
I'm
just kidding.
We would love.
But thank you so much again. Be sure to check her out on social media, everyone. Visit her website for showtimes, dates, so much more. Again, at oliviafaye.com. Olivia, again, thanks for joining, and good luck tonight and success moving forward.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Have a good night.
So after hearing the end of the interview there with Olivia Faye, awesome to hear how she was able to make those adjustments. But before getting on the stage again and hopefully, things getting somewhat back to normal here for her kind of profession, she had to, be a normal, living, real life human being like the rest of us, and just kind of picking up a side gig again, just to kind of get out of the house, but also to kind of get that cash flow was cool. And just kind of showed she's willing to put herself out there and do whatever it takes. And all in all, awesome interview. She was so fun to talk to and get to know. And I hope we can continue that relationship, especially with all this new music coming out and her big plans moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, very relatable young woman. She talks about just relatable things that are going on with everyone in the world right now and having to adjust. I don't know anything about the music industry, but it's relatable in the sense that there's the ups and downs, and she was just about to release an album, and then what happens? COVID hits. She has to go get a normal job. Things went in a different direction. Now she's getting back in the right direction. She got to perform, go to Leapers Fork and perform, and so. It's just cool to be able to hear somebody that's having success in a different realm explain the ups and downs of something that a lot of us don't understand.
Yeah, and to close it out here, like just hearing her talk about how music and how everything throughout the whole interview and where she gets her inspiration from, and music is such a big part of her life. It makes you want to go out and support musicians and artists like herself. You know, she definitely paints a good picture, and I'm really looking forward to getting out and once she releases her album or her EP and getting it and checking it out and hopefully one day making it out to Nashville, go see her in a live show. I think it would be great.
I hear you. I agree.
Also, Puckets of Leaper's Fork, by the way, shout out to them. They got a lot of mentions, but you can see why. I mean, getting back to go play for the first time after all this was really cool to hear. I actually looked that place up. Awesome, 4.5 stars with like 1,000 reviews on Google.
Oh, really?
If you believe in that sort of thing, but nonetheless, place looked bitching for sure. I know
she
that
had a lot
you
of
had
good
mentioned
things
that,
to say
but
about 'em.
yeah, no, it sounds like a place to check out. So anyone in that area or traveling that area, maybe a chance to tune in and listen to Olivia. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But again, Olivia just handing over gold here with the intro song. You guys will see another little snippet of unreleased song on the outro here as well. But that's another one in the book. In the books, fellas. Episode 6, Dunzo. Had a lot of fun with this one. Hope you all did also. Find us on Instagram at CBS_podcast, Twitter, CBS Pods. And a reminder, you can catch all episodes on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to vote. We'll take any votes, 1 star, 5 stars. Just get out there and
No. 5 stars. 5 star only.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it only lets you do 5 stars.
Yeah.
As well as full-length videos, though, of each interview on YouTube. Just search Connected by Seams. Subscribe to our page today. But shoot, let us know. Leave a comment also. Tell us what you thought about the boys looking dapper in the last episode with the cowboy hats and garb we had on. So that was a nice little touch. But everyone, this episode will be released before the 4th of July. So everyone have a safe and happy 4th of July. We'll be back next week for episode 7. Danny, Garrett, I'm Seth. Catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.
See ya.
PCH tonight. The stars ain't out yet, but there's stars in my eyes. Every time you look at me, my heart beats hard to breathe. Walking alone like we own this